And we've provided advice and reports from the previous outbreaks so that providers can understand how to better manage their facilities. And as I've said to you, that's borne out in the facts of the way that the sector is actually performing right now, despite the very difficult circumstances. So if you look at 2020, 7.2% of COVID cases were in residents in residential aged care. Recalling 2020 as vividly as I did, not many of us would have thought that there were 28,422 cases of COVID nationally in 2020. 2,051 of those were in aged care. So far this year, there's been over 1.8 million cases of COVID in Australia. And just over 10,500 of those have been in aged care, which is 0.58% of cases. That says to me that the sector, despite all the difficulties, is performing so much better. In fact, it's 12 times less than what it was in 2020. The value of vaccination, the improved screening processes that we've worked with the sector on, through things like the visitors code, the advice that we've provided to the sector in respect of infection control, the requirement that we ask the sector to put in place infection control leads, the training that was provided to facilities in conjunction with the states for infection control, the establishment of the VARC and VARC-like facilities in other states around the country. All of those things have combined to see the sector relatively to 2020 and the performance that we're seeing today, despite the extraordinarily difficult circumstances that we're seeing with the transmissibility of the Omicron outbreak. Now, if you think about the level of transmissibility of Omicron versus the previous strains of the virus, you might have expected to see so many more cases in residential aged care. That hasn't occurred. The incidence of cases in residential aged care was in fact more last year than it was this year. So the improvement, it's about the same, it's 0.6%, but the sector is performing, I think, extremely well, despite the extraordinary difficulties of the Omicron wave.